We're sitting in front of Peter Graham's Wandering Shadows, but it'd be great to hear a little bit more about you first before we talk about the painting.
Well, I have been working for BBC Alba for my whole entire working life.
Wow.
As a producer and sometimes a presenter. But recently I had a project, I took a wee sabbatical from work and I wrote a book about hutting in Scotland, which is Scotland's answer to cabin culture. And it was great fun doing that. I got to go and visit lots of different huts and cabins and sheilings and aeries all around Scotland.
And did that start because you yourself live in a hut or a cabin?
So my family built a cabin about 10 years ago. And so we all have houses. And the cabin is a wee bolt hole that you can head to for the weekend. Everyone in the family uses it slightly differently. My partner, Cynach, and I will head there and light the stove. My brother heads there to go fishing with his pals. My other brother will head there with their kids for the weekend. Yeah, it's a very happy place.
Oh, well, it sounds like it. Speaking of fishing, there is a gentleman fishing in the painting. Shall we take a closer look? So this painting, Peter Graham's Wandering Shadows, like urban audiences saw this. This was the first time they were seeing the Highlands, most of them. This was like the window to the north, if you like, and it really sort of drew them in. Like, what do you think? Is that the role of the artist? Is it bringing different parts of the world to audiences?
Absolutely, and what a window. You know, he's captured it with such skill, and I mean, the balance in the painting is amazing. The majestic hills and the river in spate and some happy sheep and the wee road heading off into the distance and low-lying cloud, but also the work in the clouds up high. They're very accurate to what you see when you head to the Highlands and Islands, and people must have loved it. I was drawn to this one because it's just such a majestic beauty. It's a perfect Highland scene. And I don't know if it really is an actual existing place. I think he's based it on places that are very similar to that, but I just think it's so aptly named, you know, the Wandering Shadows, the light passing through the glen, and it's your classic Scottish Highland scene.
Yeah, the light across the hills is one of my favourite things about the Highlands in Scotland, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is a real place. It's a bit of a mishmash of Scotland. The painter was based in Edinburgh, and he painted this for urban audiences, so it's kind of a romanticised version of the Highlands. But what do you think? How does that make you feel about it?
I mean, you know, if anyone's been to Glencoe or driven around the North Coast 500 or headed off north in Scotland, then you'll know scenes exactly like this. The road might be a little bit more modernised now, but you are pretty much passing through landscape that's exactly like that. And then I love this lone character heading out fishing, and you know, it's perhaps him that draws me the most to it because he's doing a very special thing, which is bonding with the place. And I'm very interested in the notion of bonding with places, either from a temporary point of view, like he is as a fisherman, or by hopefully building a hut in an exact landscape like this and having a place where you can have as a bolt hole at the weekends.
You've preempted my next question. I was going to say, you've written a book about hutting. Does this seem like the perfect location for that?
You know, the Highlands and really all of Scotland is such a perfect country for hutting, and most countries at our latitude on the planet that are wooded have huts. You have the dachas of Russia and the cabins of North America and the Hutter in Norway, sommerhus in Denmark, stuga in Sweden, and in Scotland we call it hutting. And I just think that this is the exact landscape that's calling out for it. You know, there's access to the burn by the road there, so you could drive up to the hut for an easy weekend. You've got running water, so that could serve your domestic needs. And we have a strong culture of sheilings, the aerie culture, and that was part of a wider European culture called transhumance, where people would migrate with their animals for summer grazings. They would head to the areas. There's many songs about enjoying that time and connecting with the place and having a break from the nucleus village, the normal way of life, and heading to places like this and being a bit more free and a bit more connected to your surroundings.
Yeah, that sounds magnificent, just living with the seasons.
I think that's what they can really facilitate, is a bond with a place that can be intergenerational. I guess it's about contrast. You know, many people could head to the hills from our urban centres for a weekend or a week in the summer, and they could head to their hut, spend time there, connect with landscapes exactly like this one, and not really do any damage to it in doing so. This is probably an early piece of advertising for heading to the Highlands for a holiday, and we still have that happening today. People are more and more and increasingly so heading to the hills, and you know, we have routes that are making heading there popular, and we have films being filmed there that's letting people across the world see this gorgeous bit of planet Earth. And I think that's what they can really facilitate, is a bond with a place. I think Peter Graham in this painting has really captured much of that. You know, there's a lot of different tones that you see throughout the year in Scotland, and I think sometimes you need to go to a place like this at different times in the year to appreciate what's happening as the season passes through. But more huts in Scotland would be great. I think if there was a hut in there, this would be the perfect image. Have you counted the sheep?
I have. There's some sneaky ones on the path at the back, and it almost looks like a two-headed sheep, but I think there's 9. But you only really look at the 4 in the front, but there's a couple off the path there, and some in the distance. I would love to stay and chat for longer, but I want to go and make my hut dreams come true. So thank you so much for coming in, Peter. It's been lovely to chat to you.
Thanks for having me.